Hello, fellow YouTubers, and welcome back to Disabled DM. I'm Jarin D&D, and this will be a short video in which I just want to talk about something I did in the 5e Magic Academy one-shot session that I just got them recording and posting on the channel. And it involves with skill checks. Usually, when I do a skill check, it's someone that is in particular that is using a skill, or if more than one person is rolling, I take the highest roll, and that person discovers a clue or accomplishes whatever the check is meant to accomplish. In the one shot I just did, it was a murder mystery, so almost the entire group was making perception and investigation rolls a lot of the session. And I wanted it to be where each player had their character that figured out different bits and pieces as of the mystery and who did it. Not just give the revelation to one person. So what I did, and it seemed to work really well, is I divided each particular clue down into 5 distinct things, such as in this particular case, they were led to the bodies of 12 students who had been murdered. I had one person discovered that they looked like they had been ripped apart by an animal. The next person discovered that the rooms had a very serrated feel, but they were jagged. So it was as a claw that had basically little, almost like a saw blade effect. Another person discovered that the wounds weren't very precise, that it looked more savage and primal, which was a clue that perhaps whatever creature did this was in a bloodlust and couldn't really control their actions. It wasn't a precise cutting like you would think of a surgeon or a doctor. Another person noticed is that one of the figures had a patch of fur grasped in his hands that was black and gray, very coarse. And then the last person discovered that one of the bodies was paler than the others and had what looked to be 2 puncture marks on the neck, where they had been bit by some kind of reptile or a vampire, something that had 2 fangs. And then they went into another spot where they believed the bodies were actually killed at. One person discovered the ground was red, and that there were paw prints that were sunk in, so the creature was heavy. Another person noticed that the paw prints was larger than what you would think think of a common animal. So they pieced together it might have been a dire wolf, a bear, and then they also noticed that the paw prints appeared to be canine. Another person noticed there wasn't much blood in this area, so it appeared that the bodies had been arranged and not actually killed in this area. Then another person noticed is a silver dagger that had belonged to one of the victims, half buried in a pile of leaves. And then the last person had discovered what looked to be a humanoid boot print with a very distinct pattern of an hourglass that appeared to be made up of snakes. And the one shot continued, and they pieced together that it was a vampire that had attacked the students, and the vampire had actually been one of the teachers at the school. So they dealt with that. But to me, it was interesting in how it played out that I gave everyone something that they noticed, even if they got a critical fail on the check. And the reason I did that was you have your passive perception, and that is used for stuff you would see, such as bodies laying there. So I took that standard, and then I said, okay, even if they roll bad, they're gonna notice something beyond what the passive perception would notice. It may not be much, it may be misleading, etc. But I gave them something. And doing so, I really enjoyed it. I thought it worked extremely well because then they had to interact with the other players to piece together the clues. And they had to role play out that, okay, I know this as a character and a player, but the other people don't. And when I asked for feedback of highlights of the session, and of course some other stuff came up that people really enjoyed, but this came up as well. So I believe all the players really liked it. And it gave a very consistent feel of everyone was involved, everyone was useful and a part of what was going on. So I would highly recommend on any type of skill check to have to do it this way, especially if it's something and more than one person would try. So with that said, I hope that a quick tip helps some of my viewers and players, the other DMs I know. Oh, and as always, may the dice roll in your favor.